This video will show you how to create, save, and run reports. I'll create 3 reports as examples today. The first will be a status report of the bills I'm tracking. The second will be a report of all bills that have been introduced or amended in the last week. And the third will be a calendar of the bills I'm tracking. To create a custom report, I start by clicking the New Report button. There are 2 parts to creating a report. First, I need to choose what information I should see on my report, and I do this on the Report View tab. Second, I need to pick which type of bills should appear in my report, and I do this on the 4 Filters tabs. My first report is a status report, so I want it to display that at the top of the page, and I want it to always show the current date when I run the report. I can choose to sort my bills, but in this case, I want to leave them in measure order. Setting paginate to yes puts 20 bills on a page and lets me flip through the pages to see all my bills. This helps my report load faster, and if I look up some information on a bill, I can come back to the same spot on my report. The checkboxes let me pick the information I want to see about the bills I'm tracking. I'm going to pick the status, the client I'm tracking the bill for, their position and priority, and a visual progress bar. Next, I need to tell it I only want to see the bills I'm tracking. I click on the Bill Filters tab, and I see that it defaults to only showing me tracked bills. There are a number of other sections on this tab that let me filter my report, including hiding bills I've reviewed, showing only bills that have had a version change, showing only bills by specific authors, or showing only bills in certain locations. But in this case, I want to see every bill I'm tracking regardless of everything else, so I leave these fields blank. If need be, I could filter my report on the options from my tracking form. For instance, if I only wanted to see bills I'm tracking for client ABC, I can check that box. And if I only want to see bills I'm tracking for client ABC that they support, I can check that box as well. But in this case, I want to see everything, so I leave the boxes unchecked. The last 2 tabs let me filter on bills that contain certain keywords or on bills that affect a particular code section range. But again, I want to see every bill I'm tracking, so I leave those tabs blank. Once I've chosen everything I need, I click the Close and Refresh Report button to view my report. If I no longer want to see the progress bar in my report, but instead want to see the location of the bill, I can click Edit Current Report, go to the Report View tab, uncheck the Progress Bar checkbox, and check the Location checkbox. Clicking Close and Refresh Report shows me my report with the changes. I can also view my report using a different format. If I want to view my report as a matrix so it looks like an Excel spreadsheet, I can edit my report, choose the matrix format, close and refresh the report, and I'm viewing the same information, just in a different format. Capital Track also offers personalized formats, so you can make your report look just the way you need it to. Just mock up what the report should look like, fax or email it to our office, and we'll create a format to make your report look just right. Now that my report looks the way I want it to, I can save the parameters of my report. This will let me log into Capital Track at any time and run an up-to-the-minute status report of bills I'm tracking. I click the Save button, name my report, give it an optional description, and pick which category I want to see my report in. Once I save my report, I can go to that category, click on the report name, and see my up-to-the-minute report. Now I'll create my second report by again clicking on the New Report button. This time I'm creating an introduced and amended report, so the information I put on my Report View tab will be slightly different. This time, I want to have a link to the current version of text. I want to see the date the bill was introduced and when it was last amended. I want to see which client, if any, I'm tracking the bill for, and I want to be able to start tracking the bill straight from my report. Next, I need to tell it that I want bills that were introduced or amended in the past week. To do this, I go to the Bill Filters tab, choose Tracked, Non-Tracked, and Archive bills to make sure I don't miss any. I uncheck all the version boxes except for Introduced and Amended/Proposed. I can tell it to either go back to a certain date, or I can tell it to always go back 7 days. I don't need to filter it on anything from my tracking form or on any keywords or code sections, so I click Close and Refresh Report, and I see all the bills that were introduced or amended in the last 7 days. As before, I want to save the parameters of my report, but this time I want it to be in a category called All Office Reports. To do this, I save my report as before, type in the report name, and simply type over the categories I already have. When I save the report, the new category will automatically be created. My last report is a calendar of my tracked bills. I start with a new report, give it a header, and the trick to making it a calendar is to use the Format dropdown. Instead of picking a report format type, I can pick one of the calendar formats to see a report of all bills that are scheduled to be heard on the floor or in committee. I can also choose what additional information I want to see on my calendar. The Bill Filters tab defaults to showing just my tracked bills, so I click Close and Refresh Report and have a calendar of the bills I'm tracking. After I've run any of my reports, I can easily print them by clicking on the Print Email button, or I can export them to a PDF. There are also some default reports in my account. Highlights of these reports include the Gut and Amend, the Committee, and Member rosters. The Gut and Amend report shows every bill that has had an author change, a topic change, or a drastic text change. It is sorted by date, and although it shows every bill that has been gut and amended, it also indicates which of those I am tracking. The Committee roster shows the members that serve on each standing committee. The committee contact information is listed underneath the committee name, and Capital Track maintains the caucus contact information as well. If I'm doing a mail merge in Word, I can export this roster as a data file. The Member roster shows each member's contact information, as well as the committees he or she serves on. I can export this roster as a data file as well. This concludes the video on how to create, save, and run reports.